Well, thank you, esteemed colleagues. It's great to have a number of members here tonight to join us. For those of you who don't remember, over the last couple of years in particular, we've gone through, I wouldn't call them growing pains, but a lot of ebbs and flows in the whole FinTech, and of course also figuring out how a young non-profit organization is going to make itself operating and sustainable. I think it's been a really interesting time. We've been really proud of the people who've been involved in the association, and so tonight is really just a quick opportunity to share the results and to talk about what we're going to be doing in the year ahead. So without further ado, I want to quickly show you what we're going to go through for this year's General Assembly. Andras, can you click forward for me? So we've opened it officially. I'll invite Andras up to start off with the financial updates, and he'll hand it back to me and I'll share more about our offering and our activities, because there's a lot of fresh things happening there. Then we'll have a bit of discussion and just make sure that everybody's in agreement. I don't expect much voting or any need for too much debate, but hope you'll support what we're up to, and then we'll close things off so we can continue on with the regular STEM and some more networking and feedback that way. So without further ado, Andras, why don't you take over things?
Okay, so just want to give you a little recap of what has happened from 17 to 2018, and then we also go into what we are planning to do in 2019, both in terms of financials and in terms of activities. So what we saw was, in terms of financials, 2017 was probably not the most successful year of the association, and maybe John is better to share every detail in terms of what has happened. But what we have definitely achieved is, after a year of negative equity and substantial financial loss, in 2018 we have managed to consolidate the association, stabilize it both in terms of liabilities and assets, go back to positive territory both in terms of equity, and manage to have a profitable year.
Andras, may I ask?
Sure.
Just at a very high level, I mean, that's a huge swing, 60k swing.
Yeah.
So what was the main contribution to that difference?
Sure, I will go into that. On the revenue side, we have a little bit of negative change. On the membership revenues, the revenues went down by roughly 10%, and event revenues went down substantially. Why so? We started restructuring the association. We have substantially started cutting on costs. So on the event and personal costs, we went down practically to zero, whereas in 2017 there were substantial expenses which were related to events, venues, catering, and also wage costs. On the general and the administrative costs, we also cut down substantially. This was equipment, etc. And on the consulting side, which John, maybe you can help me, that was also like Elliott Capital coming into play, and then there were some consultants contributing.
I'd say internal operations, right?
Yeah, internal. But anyways, so we have practically streamlined the cost side almost down to zero. So from 160,000 expenses, we went down to 20,000. Whereas on the revenue side, we have obviously seen negative impact, but not as substantial as it was. And then in 2019, we are starting on an extremely lean cost base, and then we are building up the sources of revenues based on such a lean structure, and then increasing the cost only once we see that revenues are coming in, that we are delivering the offering well. So I mean, in essence, I think we are trying to make sure that both costs are extremely well under control, and then we ensure that we see revenues coming in. So what are we going to spend this year? What we see, I mean, I just go down, top down on the colors. So we have launched our website. John will be sharing a little bit on what's happening there, but we have invested into that. There's a cost buffer, which is just to prepare for any extraordinary expenses. Travel and entertainment, we expense 200 francs per month. International events, we are planning to go to. We have been to Money 2020, and then we are planning to go to Singapore. So these are two main cost items. We have overhead, social security, which is practically now gone because Elliott Capital is a service provider
SFTA being an employer.
Exactly. So we have events, very lean structure, and digital tools, which are just the necessary stuff that we need for a regular operation. So yeah, we have a fairly lean cost structure. And then how we are going to ramp up the revenues. So we have event-related revenues. We have renewals. So practically, we like to make sure that all the members who are running out of subscriptions, we can keep them and make sure that we're not losing out substantially. We don't see outflows on the member base. And then we're planning to start an acquisition campaign where we would like to acquire on the entire spectrum of members, and I will show that in further detail. So this will be a biggest chunk of our expected revenues for now. But obviously there may be other potential revenue sources that we have been discussing now. So this is really the bottom line that will make sure that the association is slightly more than breaking even, so we can account for profits by the end of this year. So practically what we're trying to achieve here is to have at least 5 extra individuals signing up. This could be obviously much more. 3 startups, 2 scale-ups, 1 large corporate, and 1 investor in October, November, December. So if this is something that we can achieve, then we will see, and this is just the cash balance, but we're doing cash accounting, so in essence, and we don't have any loans or practically this is something that very well reflects our P&L as well. So practically we're going to close this year in positive. That's pretty much on the financial side. Happy to discuss every additional detail in case of questions, but then I would hand back to John.
Yeah, I might want to actually invite Oscar to say a few words because he's really going to give credit here. And Francesca, unfortunately, many of you have met, she's our community manager. She's to credit for the great graphics. But I want to thank everybody for helping us relaunch the website. A lot of the content is frankly the same, but we've tried to really improve the work. It's been a couple of years since the original design, but we felt there was an opportunity to really clarify our message and improve the delivery of it. And I think, Oscar, maybe you want to say a few words about what you've done.
Yes, we launched the new website today as a coincidence with the event today. The new website is the same content as the old one, but has a new, fresher look. When we try to attract new members, when they visit the website, they will see a new look. It has a strong red and white and clean look and use of bolder images. That's what I can say. And I think we will focus on creating quality content to attract visitors and then convert that to members. That's all.
Great, thank you, Oscar. If we can flip on, I encourage everybody to check out the website if you haven't. Not only does it look nice, but it also has a number of things that we're continuing to really reinforce. I think that comes back just to point to it again. I don't want everybody to have to read it, but we're all about developing the ecosystem because we think Switzerland has the potential to be one of the best fintech hubs in the world. And if I can flip through to the next one. Yeah, we've tried to really hone our value proposition, and we're again also updating our documents. Tonight was the kickoff for some of this stuff, but we'll also be putting it up online and reflecting this on the website. It's all about developing an ecosystem at the center of everything, and the way that we do that is by connecting people, promoting what's going on, helping to research and create some content around that. And last but not least, and I think we'll talk about this shortly, is advocating for a better environment. We've done that in a variety of ways, but primarily it has to do with this idea of being a center of gravity. So we represent all the different stakeholders. We're a place where they can all meet, and as a result, we have a really great platform that everybody can benefit from. And that's because we have members and subscribers who are all coming together. We help to host lots of events like this and others, as you'll hear about, but we also have hubs around the world that we work with, events that we've partnered with, and social media platforms that can really help get your message out. And I mean, a really simple example is when you're a startup and you're looking for an audience, if you can come and have an easy audience that showcases you based on the quality to the right audience, we really think that's a big advantage for everybody. So that's what we try to do with everything that that's an essence of what we're trying to do. I don't want to spend a lot of time on some of these slides because we'll share it. Next. Yeah, this one I'm not going to spend a ton of time on, but something that we do try and reinforce is we are national. We're here in Zurich today, but I was last night in Geneva sharing the same content with members of government and also the local community, both crypto and fintech really coming together in a great way. What I always want to remind everybody is that we have been active for years in all the 3 major locations in Switzerland. That does cover some of the key spots like Bern, Basel, and Zurich that aren't on everybody's map. But yeah, we continue to make that a strong essence of the association's foundation. I think the other thing which we've really now started to find our message around is the idea of the fintech and the fintech verticals. The association was always based on this idea of finance plus technology, which is the kind of connection behind the term fintech. And what you see here is how we've started to talk about the verticals, as we call it, under those 2 parts of the umbrella. Under finance, you have some familiar terms, and if you look at technology, you see some of these transformative digital tools that are really reshaping the industry. What's new for us, I would say, is more the tech side. Historically, especially with my background coming from finance and some of the focus coming more from the established industry, it's been more of the fintech. I'm sorry, I realize there's a typo now. In many ways, what we're now trying to enhance is what's called tech fin. So how did big players like Apple, Google, Oracle, IBM play a role in the financial services industry in the future? And Oscar, who's come on board to help us with a lot of technical perspective, as well as others like Luca with the advocacy committee, are going to help us to really bridge that world and make that a continuing part of our strength in the ecosystem perspective. Flip again. We've also really tried to, over the years, make sure that we're not just saying, hey, you're a member. We don't think that's a very strong value proposition. We have a platform where we try to offer real value. We don't just want to have members. What's distinct in our group is that we have a class of members who are only actual individuals. That helps us maintain our neutrality. It helps us break down the barriers that sometimes exist with getting corporates on board. It helps to make sure that we have full representation of the right type of proactive people involved in the community. When it comes to serving companies, they really want something tangible, not just the name on the plate. So what we've tried to do is focus on how do we bundle services to actually deliver these types of values to people. What we tend to see and what we've really found is most relevant for people is getting across access, getting access to talent. Basically, we've marketed things, we've structured things around using the platform to create value in that sense. I won't spend a lot of time on it. I think the information is listed pretty clearly, and probably wrong. But we'll continue to focus on this as we try to bring on new members and subscribers to the association. Yeah, this slide I don't want to spend a lot of time on, but I think again there's some general principles about why an ecosystem-based association makes a difference. There's a lot of different players trying to come together, and in a sense we're like a marketplace that gives them a lot of opportunities to benefit from collaboration. That's what our spirit is really all about. Flipping on. Luca, you don't have to necessarily come to the front, but if you'd like to, please join me.
So, my name is Luca Bianchi. I'm the Vice President of SFTA, also the head of the Advocacy Committee. The Advocacy Committee is new. We built it up over the last year, and it has now 14 members, being from ZKB, Microsoft, Credit K24, and a lot of other great companies and also other law firms. So this was the first task, to bring all these people together. The second task was to do projects. We have done two big projects last year. The first was the participation in the new rules for the FinTech license, the banking ordinance. So we made the first submission for that. It's uploaded on the SFTA website. And the second project is about to be completed right now. It's the consultation of the new DLT / blockchain rules, where there's also new rules coming up. We made a second submission for that, and we'll file it within the next days. So that's a summary of what we've done with the advocacy committee this year.
Great. Thanks, Luca.
Next.
Yeah, please. Again, coming back to that theme of being a platform where we connect different sides of the ecosystem, I think mentoring has really historically been another core strength of that. You'll hear more about this in the coming months. It ties into what Matt will maybe say a few words about with the workshop program. But we see this real strong connection between people who have knowledge and people who are looking to gain knowledge. And in a member-based organization where there's this marketplace effect, mentoring has really been something that we've been able to do in an effective way. We don't tout it as well as we should because we are such a lean organization. We don't push our story enough. But we've had great companies like CreditGate who've come through and then taken part in events and been able to meet their investors in it. Olga Feldmeyer with Smart Galore, who got a lot of publicity in recent years, was involved in our early mentoring program. There's others, and it escapes me, and I don't want to go on, but it really does actually amaze me how small things like connecting members in this way creates value over time. So we continue to put time and resources into that. Something that is, again, really, I think, core, and it dates all the way back to how this all got started and what we're doing tonight is hosting events. And what we've really discovered, coming back to Andrash's points about finances and sustainability, is that having an efficient event programming process or approach is something that really gives us a competitive advantage. What we've found over the years is that there's a few different formats and audiences that we really want to address, and that we can do that in a repetitive and kind of interesting way. Stammtisch has been going on now for 6 months as really the minimum viable product. It's a social networking event. Women in FinTech, we've now got lined up till the end of the year with some great speakers to encourage member growth from an underserved audience. But the verticals, I think, is most interesting. How do we actually connect the content and what people are most interested in, the business opportunities through the events? And Andrash will be sharing more of this in the future weeks, as will I. We'll say a few more words about this in just a moment. Workshops, missions I've said enough about, and then we'll have a few more exclusive things that we're doing in the coming months as well as we get up to speed. Sorry. This is available, it will be on the website, and we'll share the presentation and of course the film after this. But as you can see, we're really trying to get that kind of consistent monthly content that everybody can rely on, and also that you can kind of guide what we're going to be seeing. Yep. International, we talked about a few times. I think Switzerland is a great location and the vibrant local ecosystem is hugely important, but it's a small market and it's also a very attractive market for companies around the world. So for us, going abroad and having companies come to Switzerland is a key part of what we've helped to do for the ecosystem. We just got back from London 2020, which was a big success. We're going to probably double in size like we did in the past with the Singapore FinTech Festival. It's now in its 3rd year and there's over 15 companies that participate, and that started as a little 2-month flash project 3 years ago. In the middle, you see what we're currently focused on. We have in September coming up Cybos, and at the same time the Lendit conference. And there's a nice history there where we've worked with Lendit over a few years to host some workshops here in Switzerland, and also Sonic, who's now doing very well. You might see their ads up in the tram on billboards. Sonic got involved in some of our events and then went to went to Lendit with a free pass from us, I think, or at least a discount, and then ended up winning the whole pitch event. So a great story of how this can really build some traction and lead to something more. Tying into international again, I want to flip the slide. The headers are great on our new website, but you have to scroll down, so I didn't do the best job of cutting an image here. I'm going to have to get a better one. But the point is very simple. Even if you're not a startup, or if you just want to attend as an individual to one of these events, what you'll find is that the best events we're able to very easily get a discount for everybody. You pay 100 francs a year. Big events cost a lot of money, oftentimes over 1,000 francs, and 10%, 15, 20% discount can actually pay for itself. So there's some great events already up there. We do update it sort of throughout the year, quarter by quarter, so it's not always the full year. But if there's something that you're really interested in and you don't see it on the list, let us know, and we'll do our best to make sure we can create that value for you and other members as well. Really simple part of how we join forces for everyone. Next slide, please. Come on in. This is something just to kind of tie up what we've been doing for the last few months. It got caught in the end of year shuffle and took a little bit longer than we wanted. But there's a great mix of international people, not only here in Switzerland, but around the world, who connect to the FinTech ecosystem. And our way of really enacting not only those events that we're going to, but our international partners and other fintech hubs was to call on members as ambassadors to help get involved. They serve a number of different roles, like being a point of contact and providing local expertise. You'll also see them in the coming months writing some articles, maybe filming some short iPhone footage as well to talk about their location. And what's great for those of you who are our ambassadors or would like to be one, we also get a lot of event passes, tying into the discount topic, and we like to give those to local ambassadors or people who are interested in going back to their location and giving that as a benefit to people who contribute in this role. Yeah, we're rounding out and we're in the home stretch now. There's only 2 more slides. I wanted to focus on something that was really historically important for us, and it will tie into our growth campaigns. We really have done, throughout our history, a good job of mapping out the Swiss FinTech ecosystem. We not only represent startups and members or people who pay to play. What you'll see here is companies without all the details are ones that we've mapped out, and ones that have become members are actually, like Credius, are actually profiled in full detail, and they have all the added benefits that we talked about with subscribers. It's been a couple of years since we've done a full job of mapping things out, and there's now probably about 200 entries that we want to update. And what you'll hear in the coming months is a call for everybody to give some feedback about what's missing, companies that we need to add or remove, and as well if your company's in there, we're going to encourage you to get on board and help join forces to make this a more powerful platform. So something that I wanted to mention, but we'll hear more about in the coming weeks. And yeah, last but not least, you guys are really, I think, a special group, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned this in closing. Andras showed you we do have some ambitious goals to start growing the revenue base of the association. We learned in the past that it's easy to start spending lots of money, but you need to have a strong foundation to grow this organization. And because we have, we think, a much better offering now and clearer activity scope, we're asking for people who are supportive of the association and think that they can help us develop relationships with subscribers to become involved as what we call keystones. And I said a lot there for something that's very simple. It's a commission model. If you think you can get startups, investors, or companies on board to the platform, you introduce us and help to get them on board. We're happy to pay you a commission. I think we're offering, is it Andras, 30%?
I think that's what we have in our budget.
Yeah, so 30%, almost a third. If you can help us sign up other startups, or if you know some companies that are interested, we're happy to work with you to help grow this and make it more beneficial for everybody involved. Yeah, I think that's just about it for me. If you don't know already, you can contact us anytime. We're really happy to help everybody in the community. Even if you're not a member, we like to talk to you and get to know what's up. We're on Twitter with a huge following, also on YouTube increasingly with videos like this, and the LinkedIn group will be something that we continue to enhance and make more active. So thank you for the time today, guys. I hope that was informative. But essentially, we'd love to open the floor for feedback, for questions. If there is some debate about direction or where we're focusing our attention right now, we're very interested in that. And then otherwise, we'll wrap things up and then we can chat a bit more casually. What would it? Yes. For our first event, people are very happy. We get, of course, feedback, of course, on how to improve all the time. The media response was quite good. We got coverage in, I think, 3 outlets, 3 major outlets: FinTech Focus, Swiss Info, and then also NetWalk. But yeah, of course, I think there's obviously some room to improve. Yeah, I think already called for feedback once, but something that we're doing for SFTA and then also for the conference is a big call for feedback. The short answer is that some of the key groups, like the traditional delegations, we're very happy with, and they're planning to come back, so we are just about to do an initial check for doing the individual accounts. Yes.
So just one addition to that, because I'm not sure if it's clear for everybody. So FinTech Plus has been organized by Elliott Capital, right? And SFTA is a partner to that, but it's not, as of today at least, it's not like something that SFTA would organize.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So just to make clear, that is, yeah, that's
it was not as FTA was organizing. It's
exactly. SFTA participated and obviously contributed, but it is not an SFTA event.
Within the association, what we really found was effective is a turnkey solution for the association. So rather than taking a lot of risk, especially in a year where we didn't have resources to do so, what was great is the association had an event that suited the sort of things that we're interested in doing, and it follows basically the model that we do with other events, including events here in Switzerland. And we're trying to expand that because some of them aren't always proactive in contacting us. where we basically get a preferred option for our members, and we're able to get some free passes, and we basically use it as a platform to get the association out there. I think it achieved those things, and we're looking to improve on it for the next one.
Great, thanks.
No
My
bias.
first impression, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions?
Sorry, I thought. It's getting a bit noisy too.
Offering. It would be great to have a dialogue, no? I mean, you are core members. What are the expectations from the association? What should we change? What are the impressions?
Yeah, things that we don't talk about that we should, or work on that we do.
I have a question. Is there any competitor in SFK in Switzerland? Are there associations which you could consider are competitors or affecting membership base?
Yeah, so today I think one of the ones that had a big impact, I usually talk about this when I talk about the kind of drop in members and everything, that's the Crypto Valley Association. They're, in many ways, it's a short, funny history is that one of the things that helped create it was looking at doing a chapter in Zurich. And Daniel Diemers, who's one of our former board members, and Soren Fogg, who's a longtime member in the Zug area, were looking to create a chapter. A lot of the work that went into that was very influential, I think. So we're looking to improve the way we collaborate with groups like that. We're talking with them to how we can do that, where we can actually not only supporting what we do now, but do more together. Work with the government to change things realistically and all that. I think there's a couple of other, I wouldn't say competitors, but there's nobody who does an ecosystem perspective in the way that we do. There's others who say, look at what's the bank perspective or what's the startup perspective. And we think that's sort of healthy, and we hope to continue to improve the way we collaborate and help bridge those gaps between all.
Follow up. I think what Crypto Valley is very successful is they have a very focused product or area. They focus on only blockchain and cryptocurrency. Maybe what you presented with these verticals and focusing on certain verticals would be helpful for the association.
Yeah, I think there's, you can always roll around a bit. I always like to talk about health management, insurance, and social finance. Other people would probably say lending and payments are more critical. There's different ways to look at it, but I think that's part of the healthy debate is figuring out which of these topics should we focus on, because there is a lot, right? Part of the way we do that, tying back into the last question, is there are other groups that are doing crowdfunding, blockchain, peer-to-peer lending. We try to really say, look, you're doing something great, let's give it a platform with a bigger ecosystem and support each other. We're an ecosystem connector, you're an expert, let's make that work. I guess. Okay?
Expectations, come on. What should we do differently?
I have a question. Who thinks there should be more focus on, say, individual members versus subscribers and trying to grow revenues through having services that we can offer members?
I believe in individual members. I think there is a lot to gain there, and if you have a lot of individual members, it will be easier to convince corporate partners as well.
So you think we should have both, that the growth comes through getting people on board?
Yes, I think initially individual members, your promoters, the people who believe in Swiss Finance Technology Association, they will spread it around in their companies as well. And usually corporates are looking for reaching to bigger audiences. So size matters. So if the number of members in terms of individuals increases, it will influence the other ones too. That's what I believe.
Okay. One of the slides I didn't show, come on through. One of the slides I didn't show is we've tried to bake that into the approach that we take to getting people onboarded. So I think the idea of being a follower, or at least becoming aware of the association, is the first step. You don't have to pay to play. You can follow us. You can attend events like this for free. There's an open space for everybody to come into the community. As you say, we want to get people who are passionate on board first, and then to get their companies second. So the individual membership is a nice bite-sized amount, 100 francs a year, which we're happy to keep at the same level right now. And then if you look at companies, it's really about how large are you, having a small bite-sized fee that we haven't had a lot of negative feedback. So really now what we see is this being about a pipeline and about really moving forward with the momentum of what we're now offering, because it does take a couple of months to get people who are here, know about us, to convince their companies and to get them in on subscribers. So yeah, I come back to the keystone point. If anybody thinks they can help us, even if it's just one time, let us know. We're happy to find a way to reward you for that. And then otherwise, if you can just retweet, share events with others, it helps us out as we continue to grow the community and create value for everybody. So thank you.
I would still be happy to hear some thoughts. I mean, one of the points.
I'll be right back. I'm getting some
people.
Oh, sorry.
So at my understanding of the association, we kind of provide a platform for anybody to get on stage. Like I worked at Credit Swiss, and then I came here, and then I got some responsibility and opportunity at the same time. And I think that's the way we should operate. Like, for example, Oscar is now taking on the responsibility of taking care of all the IT, technological aspects. Matt is going to organize and host the workshop. And I mean, I think that is something that we should do to help people to step out of wherever they are and use the association to achieve something and to contribute to the community. So, and that's why, I mean, some people I know, some people I don't know. So it would be great to hear what brings you guys here. What would you like us to do for you, and is there something you would like to do for the ecosystem or for the community? Any question? Yes.
I mean, personally, I take it as sort of a reputational thing. I feel very, what's the word? I feel like it took a lot of shots, and there was publicity about the association. FinNews wrote, I think, a very unflattering article based on misinformation and lack of research. Yeah, the negativity of the former board members who moved on from the association and the noise around that was not good for anything. I think the core, though, it had more to do with the practicality of having to do a turnaround. We needed to restructure the way that we were operating things, and for a year that was going to be very unpleasant. We had to take all of our spending and put it into savings, and yeah, we basically couldn't spend on all the lavish events and great things that we had been doing before. What's been great though is that along the way we've learned a lot. I think we're now much smarter about how we do things, so it's a good position going forward. I think people, sorry to answer what I was trying to finish there, is we weren't having events, we weren't having lots of noise. As a result, people said, why am I monitoring this kind of 100 francs this year? What we've really tried to come back with is not only activity and noise and a clean reputation, hopefully, but very specifically a better value proposition and tangible things that we can connect for people. So yeah, that's the way we've looked at it, and we hope others see that as well. I think being detailed about it, especially around data, is what's most important, and not to downplay it, but what we've done in the meantime is we've gotten some great testimonials, and what we're trying to highlight is sometimes it might take 2 or 3 years for something to pay off, but there were people that we introduced and got into an accelerator that wouldn't have otherwise, and there's a couple of really great stories that highlight the way that we've helped with investors, helped with opportunities, or helped with talent even. And so yeah, we're trying to really accentuate that in the qualitative, but also in the quantitative.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. So things like, sending us a questionnaire, going to get a member on board, so we'll this out and put it into a schedule, because that's something that we want. We're now scheduling days where we're going to film, we get all this camera equipment, so we're going to invite people who are going to just to come down and film like a short preview of what they're doing and introduce themselves, and that can be tied together really simple ways to make a more impactful presentation. And then the other thing we're just trying to finalize is like a startup, more regular startup pitch. So you're new, you're trying to get visibility, come and do this all in one day, and we can put it out there so you get like a welcome introduction to everybody, right? So yeah, but any ideas on what we can do differently is great.
Yeah, thanks for that.